for watching. I'm going to tell you guys how to repair your screen or get inside of your iPhone XS Max without taking 30 minutes on doing it. I'm going to tell you all the things you need to know as quick as I could for you guys, okay? So you got your cracked screen and you want to get in here. The thing that I would use is 2 razor blades. After heating this up round and round, either with a hair dryer or a heat gun, and you're going to warm it up, you're going to start working your way on the bottom. Watch out for the 2 ribbons that are right here on your right side so you don't stick these too deep. So what you're doing is sticking your razor blade and prying the screen out right where the bezel's at, and I'll try to show you what I mean by that. There's a piece of plastic ring right around here, so you're going in between the plastic and the metal. So you're going to pop this as much as you can. Keep working your way around. There's going to be glue there. Well, the first thing you're going to do is take out these 2 long screws right here, and you're going to need this hex tool that I have. So it's like a little tiny little star tool that you stick in there. And usually when you buy a screen, say you buy it off eBay or Amazon or something like that, it probably costs you around 90 bucks for a decent screen. Probably not an OEM original. Those can tend to be very expensive. So you remove the 2 screws from the bottom, and then you heat it, and then you start prying your way. Once you got the screen up, these ribbons right here will be mounted in there. So you're going to open it like a book, like that, but the opposite of a book. So then you're going to open that up, and then you're going to unscrew all these little things. And what I do is put a piece of sticky tape backwards, but mine's real dirty, and I use a pattern. And when I take a screw off from the bottom, I would put it on the bottom, and the next screw would go right above it. You see how I got the pattern? That way I know where every screw goes back into place. If you don't do something like this, you're not going to know where every screw goes. So that helps you put every screw back that needs to go back. Then the first thing you do is you're going to pry up the battery. Do not use a metal tool. When you pry the battery, this is the battery prong right here. I'll hold it sideways so you guys can see. The reason you disconnect the battery because you don't want to short your phone out. So that is the battery prong. What you would do, just put it under there and pry this up. You can use your fingernail if you can get it. So you disconnecting the battery is the #1 thing to do. And then next you're going to start undoing these 2 cables right here, and you got 2 of them there, and then you got 1 more that is connected, which I've already taken apart. This is the tricky one, guys. They got this one plugged in and it goes right there, okay, but they also have a piece of glue that it's glued down, so don't get crazy and start pulling it apart. I use this type of tool right here, and what I do is I spread it out and I slowly rock it back and forth and remove that glue. If you don't, they want you to rip this, so then you're screwed. So don't let that happen. Take your time on that. When you've got the glue removed, I think the glue is right here. I'll try to touch it. That's where the glue's at. A little square piece of glue. And what I mean by putting that in there, you just rock it back and forth. Once you got that off, then this is connected right here. You see this big plastic thing with the 2 holes in it by my thumb? I just like to pry underneath it and get the whole thing out. This phone is actually much easier to fix than any of the previous iPhones since the iPhone 5, because all you're doing is removing your speaker and the screen and putting it back on a new one. So any dummy can do this, okay? So don't pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to do it. If you're a little bit mechanically inclined, you can do this. So this right here is actually this way, and this thing folds right back just like you see it. And all I did is use this tool here, and you're going to need something like this, and don't start cutting with it, but you're really just prying with this thing. So I stick it under here where this part is, where the camera went, and I pry underneath that one, and then I pry from the center, and then I pry from the side. If you slowly pick at it, you got to have a good eye and a steady hand. This will pop off. Once it pops off, all you do is mount that onto the new screen, onto here. Oops, I got it upside down. All you're going to do is put this back together, put all the screws back, and put your phone back together, and you'll have a phone that's working good as new. I think I went over everything. If you do damage this, you're going to have to probably buy one on eBay or Amazon or something like that, and it can tend to be very expensive. The newer the phone, the more expensive it is. So that's about it for this phone, guys. And when you do open this up, I just wanted to tell you guys, if you've done older phones, before you used to just open it up when you use your razor blade to start prying and get it up. Well, this one actually has to come out I'm sorry, it comes up and then out, because they've made these clips right here that are holding it in. All these clips are what's holding it in place. You have to pop all these along with the glue that's gluing it down. So before you used to just be able to pop it up and open it. Now you have to pop it up about a 1/4 inch and then out. So that's about it, guys. So that's how easy that is to fix an iPhone XS. I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all put back together right here. You got 3 screws on the top here. Make sure you get all the special tools needed for the phone. There's 2 for the hexagon at the bottom and one of these little star tools, almost looks like a Mercedes symbol, that does everything else that you need on the inside. So 1, 2, and you got 3. There's one little tiny one hidden right there. That puts that back together. And then when I put these back together, I just hover them over with my finger, and then I feel it, and then when you got it, you just press it down. Don't push too hard, only use like your pressure from your finger, not your fingernail. You'll damage these. They're very, very delicate parts inside of here. So only push with your finger like that, about maybe 2 pounds of pressure. You'll feel it push in, if that, maybe a pound. Okay, so you got all the clips back in. I'm gonna start putting all these pieces back together. Quick tip for you guys, if I didn't do this, I wouldn't be able to hold these screws on there. I take this is a magnet and my screwdriver, and I rub this on the magnet. What this does is it makes the screws stick to your tool. Little shards of magnet get on there. Now you can hold the screw in place and screw it in. That's the best tip that I could throw in for you guys. What I'm talking about, I have a screw on the tip of there, and I'm holding it. Well, I'm not really holding it. Well, I'm just, it's got the magnet on it. Now I can put it in place and screw it in. See that? Simple. So you put that metal plate back on there, and you put in all your other screws, which I told you guys to line up in order. Over here, there's a really long one, and you see how the screw I talked about being magnetized, and I'm going to try to get it in here. Yep, there you go. It's hard doing this with one hand and I'm holding the camera. Alright, so that's it. See how, if you could do it with one hand on that and one hand on the camera, you guys can do this. I always like to test all my speakers, my front camera, buttons and stuff after I've plugged everything in, before I screw it all back. Got it in place, you flip it over on a flat surface and you just lightly snap it in. Just snapped right in. Okay? And then also, the back glass, that's another video. But if you guys don't want to take this on and you just watch this and you think it's too hard, go on eBay, type in iPhone XS Max or any kind of iPhone you have, and type in service. There's people on there who do this for a living who will do it much cheaper than any retail store.